little bit of information about this video before I start it. Some things I found out. Some things you might want to know before you start this project. Sometimes you try to save money, cutting corners, getting things on your own. But I would buy Nissan parts, not aftermarket or from any auto parts store. I read a thread where someone had originally tried cleaning the contacts, then replaced them along with the pump. Still didn't solve the gas gauge problem. Got O'Reilly Auto Parts to replace all three again because of the difficulty of the job and trying to identify just one at a time. Still didn't solve the problem. So that's 3 times of him doing it. And then he heard from another mechanic that said, in his 30 years of experience, to only use Nissan parts. And then he got the parts replaced from Nissan, and it's worked ever since. So that's 4 times that he did the job. And it's not a very easy job. Replacing that ring on the top is going to be your hardest. So I ended up giving up, and I took the car to the dealer because I had some other issues having them replace them. I just don't understand why simple resistance, regardless of whose parts they are, do not make it function properly. So that's my suggestion, and my results is to get original Nissan parts. You may spend a little bit more, but it's going to cost you dearly in frustration and time if you don't. Not sure that you have to, but since you're working with gas, I would disconnect the battery just to make sure you don't have any problem sparks. And I drove my car to empty the tank as much as possible. It'll definitely help with less splashing, a little bit less of a mess, and also with the ability to reach into the tank to get the wires between the 2 sensors. I got about 350 to 380 miles before I did mine. So there's the bolt here, holds the seat in. There's also a little alignment pin under there on the first one. Make sure you get lined up before you tighten the bolt, or get either of them in there. Here's the pump. Here's the sensor. On this Murano, I had a gusset going across from the seat. Just a wonderful design on both of them. I've yet to do this side, but here's the pump side. There's the level sensor. I'm just replacing the sensor. If I have it out, I'm not going to take my time to clean it. Might as well just replace it. I got these for about $60 each. In order to get the gusset up a little easier, I remove the bolt that's in the back here also. Right there and right there. Just help the seat come up a little bit. Didn't have to do it on the passenger side because it's not a huge fuel pump. Kind of came out a little easier. Huh. Not sure if you can see the difference. Try to get the light in here better. Old one's on the left. Corroded contacts. Not really corroded, just dirty. And there's the new one. I slid out the old one already. New one slides right into place there. Take the clip out that you removed earlier, and that goes right in somewhere. Well, I guess on this one, here's the old one. There's holes where this clip came out of, right there. Well, in my new one, there's no holes there where it should be. So I'm just going to leave it out. It snaps in there pretty tight. I don't think it's going anywhere. This little sensor snaps in right there. This little plug connects there. And the wires just kind of routed under a little clip back there. And there's also a little clip right there. And there might be one other somewhere. And then this plug that's right here goes up onto the bottom. And then there you can see the right into the tank for the most part. Right at the gas. It's gonna smell bad. I started my project last night and didn't finish today. Gas is everywhere, smell wise. Those wires are around that little clip right there. Those sending units there. This thing right here was kind of down there under that clip, and the blue wire was wrapped around that. I didn't touch any of that. And you can see the level. Here comes a little bit of the tricky part, because you have to hold the hoses out of the way while trying to get this all in there. Be careful not to bend the lever or damage the float. And stuff that in first, and then wiggle the rest in there. So it's back in there. Again, I had to lift up the gusset to give you a new gasket. Gasket goes in there with the opening there. The groove part goes down, flatter side up. All right, I'm not gonna lie, getting that ring back on there is pissing me off. So I'm gonna move over to the other side. I've already popped the other ring off. Of course, getting it off is easy. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't get the other cover on, because it seems like the wires in this float here are the blue ones that are twisted around and go over to the other sensor. So you got to leave the other sensor out so you can get at the wire. One step forward, 2 steps back. You can maybe see this one a little better. There's the contacts on the old one. There's the new one. This is the passenger side. Same drill with the missing clip. See the two holes on either side where the clip used to go in the old one. And there's the new one. A little different. Slightly different. So again, this is the passenger side. Just no pump. Little filter maybe. I just took the wire, left a little service loop, goes around that little clip, and started wrapping it around the fuel line that goes over to the other pump. I'll continue it over on the other side. Oh, this one wasn't that easy either, getting it back in. I found that if I put in the float, slid the float in after I dropped the assembly under this stupid thing, I was able to get it in there. But with the float on there and not damaging it and getting this triangle piece and the filter bag and everything in there, a little filter bag, looks like it kind of plugs on there, so careful that doesn't come off. So now everything's back together. Just have to put those two stupid rings on with the new seal. A little bit of dirt around the seal there. I'm going to clean, vacuum it out. Might aid in getting the seal to be fitting a little easier. This is the passenger side sending unit. The passenger side is the one with the only two wires. The driver's side has the other sensor. By far the hardest time you're going to have is getting these stupid rings back on. Got the passenger side, but driver's side's aggravating me. So the pump is on a spring loaded, so you have to hold everything down. Get all those clips to line up before the ring will spin. Alright, that wasn't easy. Got it on though. That hose is there with the little clip. Holds the hose in right there. This side, same thing. Make sure the little green clip is in there and everything holds tight. Kind of had to pound each ring a little bit each time. Was not easy. Cuts, bruises. And then this is the cover with the plug. Says front. Make sure you plug it in before you put the cover on. Pliers. Little plastic covers just kind of turn. Get the pliers correct. If I can get the pliers correct. Just kind of turn them 90 so that they hold each one. Alright, plugged in, bolts out. Got to pull up on this in order to get the rug back in. The rug goes back in. A bolt right there for the gusset. And I also noticed the difference in style of the sensors themselves. Not only the missing clip, but just in their shape. The resistance was the same. That I did measure. There was no difference in those. One was 80 ohms approximately on the driver's side and 40 ohms on the passenger side. So between the two being in series, you should get about 120 ohms. One thing to note also is in the video, the passenger side, I had put the float in upside down. The float needs to be towards the back of the car. Otherwise, it won't fit in properly. May get stuck. The top of that white plastic piece does have a marker pointing to the front of the car. I corrected the problem before I installed it. So it may end up costing a little bit more for the parts, but I think if you make sure, number one, that it has that clip and the holes for the clip to be installed, because I think that's where everything initially started to go wrong. But I would definitely use Nissan parts. In summation, I got them replaced at the dealer, and it cost $133.02 and $141.50 for the parts. And then the packing looks like 2 of those. That's probably the seal. And then $337.50 labor. And that's all because I had this thread that this other guy had done it 4 times. Cleaned them, installed a new pump. It didn't work. Changed the sensors again. Still didn't work. And then replaced them with genuine Nissan parts. So that's 2 people that are now telling you to replace with genuine Nissan parts. That was my experience. I hope this video helps somebody out, saves them a little bit of time and frustration. Thanks for watching.